Part 204. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2031. Just looking at it like this, there has always been a feeling of being forced into prostitution. The most important thing is that this Xueling is playing tricks, and the details are very well grasped. Choose the 7th rank deity title Snow Fairy. Ding. Seal the 7th class God position, consume 50,000 threads of God source power and 500 million threads of faith power. Ding. The power of faith is not enough. Do you choose to use the source power of God to exchange? A trace of source power of God can be exchanged for 10,000 strands of power of faith. Ding. There is still a lack of 418 million strands of power of faith, and 41,800 strands of God's source power are needed to exchange. Ding. A total of 91,800 strands of God's source power are needed. Fang Fan nodded silently when a system notification sounded in his ear. Exchange directly. What matters now is pride. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and various thoughts erupted in his mind. At this moment, the force still needs to be displayed. If he had exchanged the source power of God for the power of faith before, he would definitely feel distressed. As for now, he doesn't feel much. Although Fang Fan at this moment can't say that he can achieve wealth and freedom in terms of the source of God, he can be regarded as rich and powerful. After completing the task of seize the divine fruit, I was rewarded with 100,000 strands of God's origin power, that is, 10 million strands of God's origin power, and 1 strand of God's origin power is equivalent to 100 strands of God's origin power. Fang Fan squinted his eyes secretly, various thoughts gathered in his mind, and various tactile sensations in his heart gradually gathered, and the feelings still seemed extraordinarily real. For Fang Fan, who has nearly tens of millions of God's source power, spending 90 billion of God's source power is nothing at all. Ding. The exchange was successful. Ding. After deducting 91,800 strands of the God's source power, the conferment of the 7th rank deity Snow Fairy was successful. Whoosh whoosh. The picture in front of her gradually changed. Xuelings whose body suddenly flickered with pure white snowflakes. The snowflakes fell on her body and covered her completely. Gradually, she felt like she was covered in white. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, feeling all kinds of thoughts in his mind. The snow scene in front of him looked extraordinarily holy and beautiful. At this moment, the snow spirit wrapped in pure white snowflakes is like an elf in the snow, gradually revealing its noble aura. Gradually, countless pure white snowflakes suddenly gathered in one place, forming a small white figure about 10 centimeters high. Excitement flashed on the face of the little white man, and he turned excitedly around Xueling. Master, Master. The little white man made a babbling sound, which looked quite cute. His voice was extremely light, like the sound of a valley, and also like the sound of heaven. Who are you? Xueling opened his mouth, and was stunned at this moment. While speaking, his body vibrated unnaturally, various thoughts gathered in his mind, and his eyes gradually scanned the surrounding area. I am the spirit of snowflakes, Master. Master, Snowflake Spirit will help you fulfill your wish. While talking, the little white man stopped in Xueling's palm, bouncing around in her palm. Xueling raised her eyes, and felt that her whole body had changed a lot. Her eyes gradually focused on Fang Fan, her face was particularly moved, she took a deep breath, and all kinds of thoughts burst out in her mind. This is all you gave me. Snow Fairy, priesthood. How is it possible? This is a priesthood that only gods can have. Xueling muttered to herself, her eyes gradually trembling. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2032. At this moment, Xueling felt that her mind was buzzing. Completely caught in a kind of unbelievable. While speaking, her body unnaturally trembled violently, and all kinds of thoughts gathered in her mind, which made her start to fantasize. Her eyes were fixed on Fang Fan, her lips were silently clenched tightly, her eyes became extremely curious. The man in front of him is also the new master of their snow crystal plane. What kind of secret is he hiding? Why is he even able to confer the priesthood? I'm afraid ordinary gods can't do it, right? Could it be that he is a god? Xueling felt his head was buzzing, and now his eyes were fixed on Fang Fan. Have you seen enough? I know I'm very attractive, but as my little slave girl, the first rule I have to abide by is not to covet your master. Give up those messy thoughts as soon as possible. I am the man you will never get. While talking, Fang Fan nodded in agreement, speaking so confidently. Xueling trembled with her red lips, and rolled her eyes angrily. She has seen shameless people before, but she has never seen such shameless people. Okay, let's go, your father and the others should be waiting impatiently. Let me remind you once again, no one can tell about the deification of the throne, otherwise you will bring disaster to your group. Fang Fan glanced at the little slave Xueling, and then said very sincerely. In this way, everything has settled with the dust, and it is time to discuss the establishment of the second residence of the human emperor's hall. Ling you're fine. Huh, just as long as you're fine, I scared my father to death. Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow clan, saw that Xueling had returned intact, and immediately took a deep breath, and hastily let out a long and comfortable sigh. Fang Fan curled his lips silently. Why does he think that I am the kind of shameless person who would rob people's daughters? I shouldn't be that mean, right? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows. He has always felt that he should be a positive person. Isn't it a bit embarrassing to do this? Is he shameless? Xueqinren, patriarch of the Snow clan. Starting today, I am officially stationed in the Snow Spirit Plane. I will garrison here. I hope you can get along well with my garrison. Besides that, your Snow clan can take 30% of the income from the Snow crystal ore you mined, and you only need to pay 70%. Besides, I won't limit the amount of Snow crystal ore you can mine. Starting today, the Snow clan will be included as one of the affiliated groups of the Emperor's Palace. Would you like it? Fang Fan looked at Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow clan, and when he spoke, his feelings seemed particularly deep. Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow clan, froze for a moment at first, thinking that he had heard it wrong, but after thinking about it carefully, his eyes suddenly narrowed. Is this true? Master of the plane, you want to give our Snow clan freedom. You no longer limit the amount of Snow crystal ore we mine, and stop exploiting and squeezing us. And, you have to give us 30% of the income. Oh my god, I must be dreaming. Xueqinren, the patriarch of the Snow clan, trembled his lips, and his teeth were chattering violently as he spoke. One can imagine how intense the excitement in his heart was. From this point, it can be seen how harsh the previous policy towards their Snow clan was. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2033. In fact, from Fang Fan's own point of view, he felt that he was enough to be skinny. The White Wolf with empty gloves directly took away most of the income of the Snow clan. The Snow crystal mine was originally acquired by the Snow clan themselves. Fang Fan gave them 30% of the income in turn, and they were excited. Fang Fan shrugged, feeling extremely strongly. My lord, many, thank you. I know you're doing this for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. You saved our entire snow clan. You, whatever you need, Schweling is willing to give her everything. You are the savior of our snow clan. Schweling, the princess of the snow clan, suddenly knelt down on her knees, her eyes sincerely focused on Fang Fan, and while she was talking, some flushes even appeared on her face. Fang Fan opened his mouth, feeling that it was outrageous at the moment. This little slave girl doesn't seem very smart. What are you thinking about in your head? On the one hand, I did this to protect the current interests, and on the other hand, it was also to expand my territory. In addition, it can be regarded as adding a subordinate race to the imperial palace. In the future, when the major legions recruit soldiers, there will be a better one. Choose. These are the most real wills in Fang Fan's heart, but it seems to change when he comes to the little slave girl. Fang Fan shrugged. At this moment he really felt a little inexplicable. Fang Fan didn't think too much, and went directly to a wilderness in the middle of the snow crystal plain. Chu Kingdom. Akabane Kingdom. Tian Kingdom. Now. With a slight movement of Fang Fan's thoughts, he immediately summoned the troops and people of the three great kingdoms directly from the small world of Shushan Pavilion. Hula la, millions of people are all gathered. Headed by Fang Fan's newly formed Chiyu Legion, Chiu Legion, and Tiang Legion, all of which are black iron level legions with a staff of 100,000. I broke through. I also broke through. I have improved 2 levels in a row. Ha 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 ha. I have raised 3 levels. This is so cool. This world is so different. I actually broke my own limit and was promoted from a low-level quasi-sage to a mid-level quasi-sage. Me too. That's Lord Hallmaster Fang Fan. Phew, it was Master Fang Fan who rescued us from that barren little world, and we are free. Practitioners from the 3 kingdoms gathered together, and their faces were filled with infinite surprise and excitement. When they first entered the big world, their cultivation ushered in a wave of explosion. Especially those low-level quasi-sage cultivators. In the world of the remains of the gods, the low-level quasi-sages were their upper limit of cultivation, but when they came to the outside world, this upper limit of cultivation was broken. The accumulation explodes in an instant, and then it shows the current appearance. The surprise on the faces of the cultivators of the 3 kingdoms was beyond words, and the excitement in their hearts completely exploded. My prince, I have also stepped into the peak quasi-sacred realm, and I feel that it won't take long to trigger the thunder disaster in the sanctuary. Queen Natasha of the Chu Kingdom walked over with a graceful figure, and standing beside her was the maid Jenny. When Jenny saw Fang Fan, like a frightened rabbit, she quickly hid behind Queen Natasha, looking cowardly, as if Fang Fan was some kind of human-eating demon. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2034. Fang Fan summed up a common characteristic of all women. That is duplicity. He obviously thinks so in his heart, but it is impossible to say it on the surface, and it seems to be comfortable if he insists on being so entangled. Fang Fan sighed silently. He felt that he had figured out these women thoroughly. Cough, let's talk about something serious. Fang Fan hurriedly changed the topic. If this topic continued, his head would explode. That's it, I decided that from today on, the Snow Crystal Plain will be the second base of the Human Emperor's Hall. For the first time, the Chu Kingdom, the Chiu Kingdom, the Tian Kingdom and the Snow Clan guarded here. Currently, the Chu Legion, Chiu Legion and Tian Legion are the guardians of the Snow Crystal Plain. More people will come to the Snow Crystal Plain in the future, and a temple will be built on the Snow Crystal Plain. I hope everyone can work together and fight together. Fang Fan snorted secretly, his eyes glanced around, all kinds of thoughts boiled in his mind, his eyes gradually became extremely sharp. Follow the orders, my lord. Only follow the orders of the Lord Palace Master. King Cassius of the Tian Kingdom, King Herman of the Akabane Kingdom, Queen Natasha of the Chu Kingdom, and Shwekinran, the patriarch of the Snow Clan, said together. They used to call Fang Fan the Prince, but now they have all changed their names. Fang Fan is the master of the Human Emperor's Hall, this has never changed. The Snow Crystal Plain as the second station has been settled, Fang Fan ordered people to report to the Human Plain, and some people can be dispatched in batches. The Human Race Plain is the foundation and the main camp of the Human Emperor's Hall. The Snow Crystal Plain is close to the Holy City of Light and can be used as a retreat. My lord, something happened. Sun Zi's gold medal adjudicator sent news just now, saying that the deputy head of the Hot Spring Army and the head of the Mozang Bronze Army that the Lord ordered to take care of before have been arrested. Right now. Satan, the head of the Abyss Demon King Legion, flew over urgently with black wings flapping, and reported the news. The joy on Fang Fan's face disappeared in an instant, replaced by a surge of anger. His people are actually passive. Hateful. These people are really crazy. Mo Sang and Wenquan are his direct descendants who were placed in the army, so it seems a bit interesting to be arrested at the same time. This is definitely not a coincidence. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, his murderous intent gradually flickered. If it's not a coincidence, someone is deliberately targeting him. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and all kinds of thoughts suddenly exploded in his mind. Break ground on Tai Sui. I want to see how courageous you are. Fang Fan clenched his fist silently, then ran back while asking. Who did it? Fang Fan's indifferent voice came out, and his thoughts gradually boiled. It's Wu Gu, Deputy Director of the 3rd Department of the Tribunal. He has always been very upset because the Lord robbed him of his position as director. Relying on my deep foundation in the 3rd Division of the Tribunal, I started to want to embarrass the Lord. Satan frowned, and then followed suit. This matter can be big or small, if you are not careful, the whole thing will collapse. The current situation naturally requires comprehensive control. It's him. Fang Fan clenched his teeth, his eyes flickered with murderous intent. At first, I thought about raising you for a few days to fatten up before killing, but now it seems that you really can't wait. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2035. Fang Fan muttered to himself, while talking, his hands gradually clenched, and all kinds of thoughts exploded in his mind. What should come, always will come. This black bone has been doing things since he took office, and it is still the same now. Black bones. He, if there is anything wrong with Hot Spring and Mozang, I will take your head as a memorial. All troops, speed up. With Fang Fan's order, the top 10 legions under his command are running with all their might. In addition to the top 10 legions, the 4 great favorites, the 6 3-star sanctuary heroes, Na Yan and others also followed each other. This time, he wanted to make a big move. Fortunately, the Snow Crystal Plain is not very far from the Holy City of Light. With full acceleration, it arrived in less than half an hour. Fang Fan ran straight to the 3rd Division of the Tribunal. At this moment, the entire area around the 3rd Division has been completely surrounded. With a glance at the past, countless verdicts gathered. In the entire 3rd Division, including various gold, silver, bronze, and iron adjudicators, there are more than 10,000 people. If they were all gathered together, the scale would still be very grand. Director, Master Director. I'm here. The Blackbone faction blocked the entrance, and I only have one judgment team in my hand, and I can't fill it in at all. My lord, my subordinates are incompetent. Sun Zi, the gold medal adjudicator of the 3rd Division and the captain of the 1st Judgment Team of the 3rd Division, was crying with a nervous look on his face. He also wanted to rush in, but he really couldn't do it with the strength of a team. He is just a 4-star sanctuary cultivator, and the black bone inside is a 6-star sanctuary. Go to Deputy Director Do Shun. Let him lead the troops. This time, I'm going to do a thorough cleaning. Fang Fan licked his lips, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. Secret, Master Chief, Deputy Director Do Shun, he has never been involved in these battles, I am afraid he will not come, and now that Woga controls 6 judgment teams, and Deputy Director Do Shun, there are only 3 judgment teams under my command, and with my number 1 judgment team, there are only 4. Deputy Director Do Shun has always been wise and safe. Sun Zi, the gold medal adjudicator of the 3rd Division and the captain of the 1st adjudication team of the 3rd Division, looked a little dodged while talking, and felt somewhat helpless at this moment. It can only be said that under the current situation, there is indeed a lot of helplessness. Some things are definitely not as simple as imagined. You tell him, and I will accept his business. He will come. Fang Fan licked his lips. He has always fought from the edge of a knife. What scene has he not seen? Follow, obey. Master Director, should we invite Lord Dongguo Shenge? I think that Lord Shenge was very optimistic about you that day. If we can ask him to help. Sun Zi, the gold medal adjudicator of the 3rd Division and the captain of the 1st judgment team of the 3rd Division, looked more and more earnestly while talking. Need not. This black bone is obviously coming towards me. This is an internal matter of our 3rd arbitration division. Just handle it yourself, and no one else can say anything. If Dongguo Saint is invited, do you think that black bone will not invite another saint to play? Since he dares to do this, he must be prepared. This time, I'm going to knock him out all at once. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2036. While Fang Fan was talking, various thoughts suddenly erupted in his mind, and at this moment he wanted to be more bloody. In fact, Do Shun, the deputy director of the 3rd department at this moment, had already been waiting aside. Seeing Fang Fan's return, he rushed over in a short time, but there was some hesitation on his face. Especially after seeing the murderous intent on Fang Fan's face, Do Shun, the deputy director of the 3rd Division, thumped inexplicably. Master Director, you are not going to start a civil war in the 3rd Division, are you? If we really fight, things will become big. At that time, there will be too much damage, and the temple will definitely not sit idly by. Then something will really go wrong. Furthermore, we only have 4 judgment teams in our hands, and that black bone has 6, we don't have an advantage in terms of strength. Do Shun, deputy director of the 3rd department, took a deep breath and quickly advised. From Do Shun's point of view, it's best to take this matter slowly, after all, Fang Fan's current foundation is not very solid. Deputy Director Do Shun doesn't need to say so much. I am the director of the 3rd department. If I cannot exercise my sovereignty in the 3rd department, it is a joke. I asked Deputy Director Do Shun to come here mainly for one purpose. I hope that Deputy Director Do Shun can help me contain that black bone for a while. Among the experts present, your cultivation is the highest. After the matter is completed, I guarantee that Deputy Director Do Shun will join the Athena Goddess of Wisdom Association. Fang Fan looked at Do Shun and asked sincerely, then hinted at the corresponding reward. This Deputy Director Do Shun wanted to return to the Goddess Association, and he even went to Fang Fan's place in order to achieve his wish. My lord, what are you talking about? You are the director of the 3rd department. It is a humble job to obey your orders and protect your safety. With me here, that black bone will never hurt a single hair of yours. Do Shun, deputy director of the 3rd Department, patted his chest and said while talking. Fang Fan nodded secretly, and then strode directly towards the interior of the 3rd Division. Deputy Director of Black Bone Order, he is interrogating a repeat offender, no one is allowed to enter. Cai Hung, the captain of the 2nd Judgment Team of the 3rd Division, stood there proudly, blocking Fang Fan's way. Fang Fan glanced at him. He was in the uniform of a 3rd-rank red-clothed archbishop and a 4-star sanctuary. Roll. Is there any place in the 3rd Department that the director can't go to? Tell Wogo to come out and meet me. He dared to dispatch troops without my order. Is he trying to plot rebellion? Blackbone wants to plot rebellion. Are you also betraying the belief of the gods of light and following him to plot rebellion? As the director of the 3rd Department, whoever dares to block the way will be dealt with as a heretic and all will be killed. When Fang Fan gave an order, he had already made clear his attitude. Master Director. As I said, you can't go in. Our Deputy Director Wogu has given strict orders. Snapped. Fang Fan slapped him with a big ear blow. Killed. Fang Fan waved his hand, and Sun Zi, the gold medal judge of the 3rd Division and the captain of the 1st Judgment Team of the 3rd Division, rushed forward, and with the assistance of several heroes, he quickly captured the captain of the 2nd Judgment Team. Sun Zi, the gold medal adjudicator of the 3rd Division and the captain of the 1st Adjudication Team of the 3rd Division, subconsciously raised his head and looked at Fang Fan, as if he wanted to ask for further instructions. After all, direct killing is too serious. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2037. Kill. Fang Fan spoke indifferently, his will seemed extremely determined. Sun Zi was still hesitating in the 3rd Division's gold medal award, but Galen had already made a direct move with the big sword in his hand, beheading Cai Hung, the leader of the 3rd Division's 2nd award team. The bloody head looks quite shocking. Murder, killer. Captain Cai Hung is dead. Huh, phew, this, the new director is so domineering. CAO, didn't even blink, and directly killed a gold medal adjudicator. More importantly, this gold medal adjudicator Cai Hung was also the confidant of Deputy Director Wogu. This time, something really happened. I think this director Fang Fan is here to make troubles. Everyone, be careful, don't get hurt by mistake. This director Fang Fan is quite scary, everyone, be careful, everyone, be careful. That's the truth, when those big figures above fight, we will always be the ones who suffer. Hey, if Deputy Director Wogu and Director Fang Fan fight later, where shall we go? Hee, what? We are on the side of Deputy Director Wogu, how dare you run away? You really don't know the methods of Deputy Director Wogu. No. It's not like this, I'm not greedy for life and afraid of death, but what if Deputy Director Wogu asks us to attack Director Fang Fan? Although Director Fang Fan has not been in our 3rd Division for a long time, it is undeniable what's more, he is indeed our legitimate director. If something goes wrong with him, the higher UPS of the temple will send people down to check, and those of us who did it can still escape. Damn it, it's not right to obey orders, and it's not right not to obey orders. What do we want to do? The situation once seemed extremely chaotic. Fang Fan stood there, but the captains of the judgment team didn't dare to do it lightly. After all, Fang Fan is the director of the 3rd Department at the moment, the director of the judgment office who was bestowed by Gong Yezhuo himself. How dare the gold medal adjudicator and the captain of the adjudication team kill Shang Guan among them? Regardless of the arrogance displayed on the surface, it is actually empty shelf. Especially after Fang Fan decisively beheaded Cai Hung, the captain of the 2nd Judgment Team of the 3rd Division, he deterred everyone and made them dare not make any changes. At this moment, there was even endless sense of panic in his heart. Looking at each other, this sense of panic is gradually deepening. Get out of here. Those who stop, kill without mercy. If you don't want to be the second corpse, get the hell out of here. This is the order of the director. Those who don't obey orders will be killed directly. Fang Fan strode forward, waving the Zhantian sword in his hand one after another. As long as someone stepped forward, a group of heroes would naturally rush over. The door of the third department of the tribunal was opened, and then went directly to the dungeon. As soon as he stepped into the dungeon, he smelled a strong smell of blood, which became stronger and stronger, giving people a sense of churning in consciousness. Speak. Tell me quickly. Did Fang Fan tell you that he asked you to form cliques in the army so that we can unite with you to rebel at critical times? Also, what exactly happened when the branch of the Dark Temple was destroyed? Did the cultivators of the Dark Temple evacuate on purpose and let you destroy it on purpose? Just to give you credit for it? So Fang Fan is essentially a spy of the Dark Temple. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2038. Wu Gu, the deputy director of the third department, was holding a whip with iron spikes in his hand. While talking, he whipped the whip down, and it could directly bring dozens of flesh and blood on the human body. In addition, some salt and pepper and chili powder were sprinkled on the iron thorns of the whip, which can greatly stimulate the wound. Ah, your grandfather, you won't say it? If you have the ability, kill your grandfather. Lord Fang Fan is devoted to the temple and has never had a different heart. He is also the most loyal believer in the temple. What is the purpose of you pouring dirty water on him like this? You bastard! You bastard! Even if I, Mo Sang, were beaten to death today, I would definitely not slander Mr. Fang Fan for you. A scholar dies for his confidant. Lord Fang Fan. Mo Sang is willing to die to keep you innocent. Mo Zhang's voice was extremely loud, and his face was full of sadness. He was a very decent soldier and general. As for the hot spring who was caught at the same time, he was punished like this without saying a word. His fate and Fang Fan have long been bound together. Fang Fan once used a war slave card on him. If something happened to Fang Fan, he would not survive. What's more, Fang Fan's future is bright. As an old man who followed Fang Fan in the early days, as long as he can stick to his loyalty, is he afraid that he will have no future in the future? Hot Spring's strategy is naturally more far-reaching. Now that he has boarded Fang Fan's boat, he is no longer willing to get off the boat. This is a boat that can help him take off completely. If you can firmly grasp the opportunity, your future achievements will be limitless. Master Fang Fan came back to save us. By doing this, you are angering Mr. Fang Fan, and you are seeking your own death. Someone once offended Mr. Fang Fan, and then he died. Your fate is the same. Hot Spring bared his teeth and grinned, his blood eyes flickered, and his lips trembled. I'm going to die. Ridiculous. The mouth is really hard. What kind of a guy is he, Fang Fan? He dares to fight me. So what if he takes my position as director? Compared with me, he is still far behind. Since you want to die, then do your best to fulfill him. You bastards, you don't even know how to seize the chance to survive. If that's the case, then go to die. All of you are going to die. You are all heretics. You are all heretics who have betrayed the light faith. Ah ha 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 ha. Wu Gu, the deputy director of the 3rd Division, licked his lips as he spoke, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Who do you call a heretic? Black Bones. The director is here. Hurry up and kneel down. What are you waiting for? Fang Fan directly kicked open the door of the dungeon, looking at the blood-stained Mo Zhang and the hot spring, the killing intent in Fang Fan's eyes gathered to the extreme. This guy is totally trying to die. Since he wants to die, Fang Fan will make him happy. It's hard to live. But if you want to die, taking off is extremely simple. Fang Fan clenched his fists, violent killing intent frantically gathered in his mind. Fang Fan. How did you come? How dare you barge in openly? What do you all eat? Trash. A bunch of trash. Didn't the deputy director give you a strict order? The deputy director is interrogating a major suspect. Don't let any cats or dogs in, don't you hear? Are you deaf? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2039. Wu Gu, Deputy Director of the Third Department, directly began to criticize Sang Huai. This guy has taken another step forward on the road to death. What are you still doing? Why don't you hurry up and drive out the irrelevant people? Do you want the Deputy Director to say anything? Wu Gu shouted, then waved his hand, and countless adjudication envoys gathered around, unexpectedly surrounded the surrounding area. At this moment, the three judgment teams under the command of Deputy Director Do Shun and the number 1 judgment team controlled by Sun Ziyi are fighting with all their strength. In the adjudication office, these adjudication envoys actually obeyed Wu Gu's order and pointed their swords at Fang Fan, the director. One can imagine how rampant they have become. The Deputy Director of the Third Department of the Tribunal, Wu Gu, intends to kill the director. He intends to destroy the entire tribunal. He intends to cause huge casualties to the temple. As determined by the director, these acts are pure heresy. Take down the heresy black bones. The director should interrogate well. Whoever walks with black bones, is guilty with him. If you dare to resist, you will be killed on the spot. Fang Fan glanced left and right, and then directly ordered, thinking so far, there is no way out. Today must be a battle between you and me. Deputy Director Do Shun, it's up to you. Fang Fan looked at Do Shun, another deputy director of the Third Department, and said very sincerely that this was the first cooperation between them, and it was also because of their interests. Do Shun frowned silently, then sighed softly. Master Fang Fan, of course I can keep you safe, but if you really want to fight Wu Gu, after 100 moves, I'm afraid I won't be able to hold on. Once my combat strength is damaged by then, your safety. Do Shun, the deputy director of the 3rd Division, gave a wry smile. Naturally, he couldn't hide anything at this time. At the critical moment, I will help you fight against the Black Bones. Don't worry, when your combat power is doubled and Wu Gu's combat power is reduced by half, will you still be unable to kill Wu Gu? Fang Fan smiled indifferently, and then followed suit. Do Shun's complexion gradually changed, and his eyes flickered. How is this possible? How can my combat power be doubled, even those secret pills, I'm afraid they can't do this. What's more, Wu Gu is in full bloom at the moment, how can his combat power be weakened? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Master Fang Fan, you don't need to make up such an excuse to let me feel at ease in the battle. Do Shun shrugged his shoulders with a questioning look on his face. I really can't do this, but what if the great Athena goddess of wisdom is crowned? The will of the goddess crowned me with this ability. Didn't you always want to be bathed in the holy glory of the goddess Athena? At that time, the power of the great goddess Athena will be poured on you. Of course, if you don't want to be possessed by Her Majesty's power, that's fine, Her Majesty will never force his followers to do anything. Fang Fan said so solemnly that even he himself felt that the goddess Athena seemed to be nearby. Fang Fan completely controlled Do Shun's weakness. This guy has no desires, but only has a soft spot for the goddess Athena. As long as it is about the matter of this goddess, there is no resistance. A goddess, is the power of a goddess. I do. I do. Master Fang Fan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2040. While Do Shun was talking, his face flushed red. Immediately, he ran to fight with the Black Bones. Quite a state of being limped. Fang Fan sighed, I am also considering the overall situation. Actually, maybe this could be considered a white lie. That goddess Athena, who knows where she is at the moment. But at this moment, Fang Fan said to Do Shun like this, he must feel that the goddess Athena is by his side, and he has been greatly satisfied in his heart. As long as no one breaks it down, this sense of satisfaction and happiness may last for hundreds of thousands or even thousands of years. As for Fang Fan, he also got a wave of benefits, letting a 6-star sanctuary powerhouse fight for him. It's the best of both worlds. Fang Fan nodded secretly, feeling more and more that this is indeed the case. In fact, on the whole, these problems are not as serious as imagined. Do Shun. Do you dare to fight me? Are you crazy? Asshole. Asshole to the extreme. How many catties and tails do you have, don't you have any idea? If you remain neutral, the deputy director will naturally not argue with you, but if you get involved in this matter, don't blame me for being ruthless. Wu Gu's face was cold, and while he was talking, his eyes flickered with murderous intent, and various thoughts gathered in his mind, as if he wanted to completely kill him on the spot. Black Bones. How dare you disrespect Fang Fan, you really ate the guts of a bear. Let's give in as soon as possible. Give in to the chief, and the chief may let you go, otherwise your affairs will explode. At this moment, Do Shun, deputy director of the 3rd Department, is in a state of full confidence. If it was said that he was timid and did not dare to fight before, then now he is trying his best to demand and want to fight. In Do Shun's eyes, in the course of the battle, the goddess will bestow divine grace on him. Do Shun thought in his heart, and then he glanced at the endless heavens happily, and was full of fighting spirit. Forget it, you still don't give in, let's start fighting directly. Master Fang Fan said that you are now a rebellious heretic. You must be captured. Do Shun directly launched a full-scale attack while speaking, and the smile on his face was vividly displayed at this moment. All kinds of thoughts gathered in my mind, and what I was thinking about was the crown of the goddess Athena. Wu Gu, who was about to say something, opened his mouth, looking extremely confused at the moment. Could it be that he missed something? Or is there something tricky hidden in it? This Do Shun has always been in a state of not listening to things outside the window, and has never made friends with anyone, or made things difficult for others. He has always been in the state of a good guy, but in fact, he is an old fritter and a slippery old man. Doesn't it seem weird that even such an old slicker is going full scale now? Wu Gu gritted his teeth inexplicably. At this moment, his eyes scanned the surrounding area. Various thoughts gathered in his mind, and his head exploded one after another. It's been a rough time. First, the surefire chief was taken away, and then his confidant Sun Ziyi defected to Fang Fan's command, and now even an old fritter like Do Shun started to confront him head-on. Wu Gu clenched his teeth, his hands began to clench into fists unnaturally, and then he took a deep breath, the breath in his heart just couldn't go down, and he wanted to growl directly. It's so frustrating.